his level, of his intellectual, having university students in front of me, to be able to see how beautiful Prophet Muhammad, the Messenger of God, has lived his life, and how science today has proven that the small things that he did throughout his life has an impact on the success of individuals in his life and hereafter, right? This is very significant correlation. So please bear with me and just follow my talk, yeah? Okay, I will, I just look at the time because I have 40 minutes, yeah? Okay, let us start with a little bit of brief history of Prophet Muhammad, but it is not just visiting historical moments during Prophet's life, right? This is about, let us go through a little bit of his earlier days so that we can appreciate what happened to him and the things that he's gone through. Prophet Muhammad was born as an orphan. Yeah? He lost his dad before he was born, so he was born to a mother, but he was born to a very significant tribe in the times of Saudi Arabia, which is a tribe of Quraysh. Yeah? Now, I would like to mention here, okay, it's very interesting of how Prophet Muhammad was born, because he was born as a prophet and he was raised by his first grandpa, right, granddad, call it, right, and then he was raised by his uncle, right, until his uncle passed away. Okay, bearing that in mind, I've always questioned the current Western way of thinking of a family unit, that you must be raised by a father and a mother, right? Where else Prophet Muhammad and Prophet Moses and Prophet Jesus was not raised by parents. You get me? Reflect back. Prophet Muhammad was not raised by his mom or dad, because his mom passed away when he was about 6 or 7 years old, right? Prophet Moses was not raised by his mother, yeah, because he was sent to the Pharaoh, right, by his mother. His mother put him in a little, baby cot and floated in the river, and then he was, delivered to the castle of Pharaoh, Fir'aun, yeah, and he was raised there. And he was not raised by his parents, right? And Prophet Jesus goes to the same thing, was not raised by the parents. So, see, the thing is, like the introduction, Sister MC was saying, right? Prophet Muhammad is the greatest man, according to Michael Hart, from every front. He's the greatest psychologist, he's the greatest sociologist, he's the greatest spiritual leader, greatest military leader, all right? So if you look at the point of view of a sociology, right, point of view, the life of Prophet Muhammad has debunked, right, the need of having parents to raise a baby, a kid. Okay, are you following? Okay, I hope so, all right? All right, so we have to understand that is why right now when there is a child, okay, who's without a parent or a mom, either been divorced or dad become orphan, they feel very neglected by the society. Yeah, because we did not understand the essence of being raised by community, when all our prophets, right, were raised by community, by their uncles, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties, yeah, neighbors, right, and helpers, etc., etc. Okay, this is one thing that I feel very important that we understand the other side of Prophet Muhammad, when he was not raised by a parent, father and mother. So if you are without one, okay, don't feel that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are probably going through one of the path of, not profitable path, but God is giving you a chance to understand that, there's nothing wrong with you, and this is the difficulty that the previous prophets felt during their early life, right? And okay. And then, now he was born an orphan, and he was born in a place where it is center of trade. Something like nowadays it's like New York City, or English is like Kuala Lumpur, right? So he was born right smack of the center of trade, which is Makkah at that time, right? Now, you see, people of Makkah has always been people who are generous, right? People who are very kind, who are very noble, right? The fact that the name Bani Hashim, Bani Hashim means, this is where prophet comes from. You see, in the Meccan era, during prophet's time, there were many tribes, like clans, and prophet came from Bani Hashim, right? And Bani Hashim literally, in translation, means the tribe that crushes bread. And you must be wondering, why is his tribe called the tribe that crushes bread, right? This is because during that time, you see, there are a lot of people who comes to Makkah to visit Kaaba for worshipping, right? So the people of Makkah, one of them is from Prophet's clan. They used to take dry bread and crushes the bread and give away to the travelers for free. All right? Thus the name Bani Hashim comes. Okay? The people who crushes the bread and give it away for the visitors, for the travelers that comes to Makkah. Right? Okay. Now, thousands of people come to Makkah every year because they come initially for worshipping, right? Because Kaaba is a place where from Prophet Abraham, people have been coming thousands of years to Makkah to worship, okay? But then do Hajj. But then along the way, the story is like this. There was a lot of pious people, right, throughout the years, and then when these pious people died, people like the commoners were saying, let us create something to remember these pious people by. Okay, so they said, let's create a statue of this pious person. All right, so they create one statue for person A, right, because they want to remember. The intention was good, but then throughout the years, people have been creating statues of these pious people for good intention, but then they put these idols, these statues around Kaaba. And then somehow throughout the thousands of years, people who came to Kaaba to do Hajj changed and became idol worshippers, because they were like, start touching the statue and start, saying good things about the statue. And then suddenly the attention moved from God Almighty to the statues, right? And if you know, around the statues, there are 360 statues around Kaaba at that time, because there were 360 days in a year during that time, right? I mean until now, but that is why there were 360 statues around Kaaba. Okay. So people came to Makkah to do Hajj, right? But then now they become idol worshippers because throughout time, these things happen. And then because of the thousands of people that comes for Hajj, for worshipping to Makkah, the traders there become, people start trading things. It's very natural, right? If you come to a place often, you bring your goods and you do an exchange or barter trade or selling and buying with the people from that place. It's quite natural, right? So that is how Makkah evolved to become from the center of Ibadah, worshipping, to the center of trade. So now Makkah become the economic superpower in the Arab Peninsula, right? For me, it's very fascinating to understand these little things, yeah? rival. Okay, like probably United States, the rival is China, yeah, Japan. It's natural, right? So during that time, the rival of Mecca is Yemen. Okay, there is this the leader of the Yemeni people at the time. Okay, he's called Abraham. All right, so he was so envious of Mecca, and he wants to shift the attention given to Mecca to Yemen, so that people come to Yemen and trade in Yemen, right? So that, prosperity and abundance is, available in Yemen. Therefore, he sent what all Muslims know as the army of elephants. The Abraham, all right? We all say Abraham tentera bergajah, okay? Because he sent this huge convoy of elephants to attack Mecca so that Kaaba collapsed. At the same time, he was building a new Kaaba in Yemen so that people would go to Yemen and do trading there. Okay, so Abraham's interest was mainly economic interest, right? And that was the year when Prophet Muhammad was born. And that was the peak of the time when, when you live in a place where there's abundance, prosperity, you are rich, you're wealthy, food is not a problem, you begin to forget the poor, right? You begin to forget beautiful values like respecting your neighbors, caring for the orphans, being kind, being gentle, being generous, doing charity. And so the Arabs had moved from having very beautiful character to the being self-centered, materialistic, etc., etc. And at that point of time, Prophet Muhammad was about 40 years old. Okay, so he was very disturbed with this development, and because he knows his community was better before, and now they are forgetting God, and then they are, they trade on interest, and then they backbite, they envy, they cheat, they lie, they take slaves and they beat them, all right? They kill, they murder one another, all right? Envy, hasad, everything was there. So he couldn't take it anymore. So what he did was, okay, he went for retreat. This is when he went to the special cave. It's a normal cave, actually. It's not a special cave. He just went there for a retreat. Just like your parents during weekends, okay? They couldn't stand the stress of the city, right? So they decided to go where? Kampung, That's why the North-South Highway is so jammed up during the weekends, right? Because everybody wants to live a stressful life. Okay, so Prophet did the same. And this is not unique, actually, because in the Quran, okay, we have the story about three, some people say 3 men, 1 dog, some people say 7 men, Allah Alam, I'm not sure, which one is correct, but most popular opinion is 3 men and a dog, okay? These are the people who went into the caves to just find recluse and to just find peace with God, right? And then they slept for 1,000 years and they woke up and then their currency is already different. Okay, that's a different story, right? But this is what Prophet did, okay? Now, okay, so now, during this time, all right, is when Prophet, at that time Muhammad, was given the message of God, right, by the angel Gabriel. Okay, during this time, when he's trying to find peace and serenity in the cave, right, of Hira. Okay, now imagine this. Prophet Muhammad is a man who cannot read, cannot write, okay? And one day, after receiving the message from God through Prophet, through angel Gabriel, right? He, of course, wrong? Is he hallucinating? You can imagine that he was sitting in a cave alone, and suddenly he felt a very tight hug around him that crushes his chest, that he couldn't breathe, you know. And then the message, the creation that hugged him said to him, breathe. And he said, I cannot breathe. He said, breathe. And he squeezed harder, right? And the Prophet said, I cannot breathe. Right? That is when the first verse in Islam was sent down to Prophet Muhammad, which is read in the name of God. Right? That is our first verse sent, first message sent from God to mankind. Right? Read and read in the name of your Lord. Okay, now, after he told his wife and his best friend, he has a best friend, of course, everyone has a best friend, BFF, right? And his best friend name is Abu Bakr, right? So he told his wife, he told his best friend and his cousin, so they all said, because they all believe that he is a messenger, they believe in him, right? And after a while, God says to him, now is the time for you to come out of your cocoon and tell the world that these idols that is surrounding Kaaba is not God. Only one God, and it is Allah. Right? So, if you want to imagine, the situation is like this, probably. Someone, say for example, Malaysia. Okay, before that, yeah? You see, what is inside Prophet's head could be this, right? Now, Mecca is the center of worshipping idols and the center of trade. So, people come to Mecca, right, because they want to do worshipping and trading at the same time. Meaning the main attraction to Mecca would be the idols, all right? Would be the worshipping part. That's why people came to Mecca, and then the byproduct of it is they do business transaction. Now, Prophet Muhammad is supposed to tell his people at that time in Mecca, listen, there is no God. The statues around the Kaaba, these are not God. Okay? So, what do you think will be in Prophet's head on the reaction of the people? Because you see, it's like this. Say Malaysia is noted throughout the world of center of food, I think, which is partly true, right? You can eat anything in Malaysia. If you can find food any part of the world, it could be in Malaysia. You can find the food there. Say, for example, Malaysia has provided the best food in the world with best variety and best diversity and etc., right? Suddenly, came this person out of nowhere, not a chef, not a nutritionist, nothing to do with food industry, and then said, dear world, do you know food in Malaysia is poisonous? It's not real food. It will kill you. That is the similarity of what happened during that time. When Prophet has to tell the people of Mecca and the people of the world who came to Mecca that these idols are not God. Okay, there's only one God. Right? So the effect of it was the merchants in Mecca was furious with Prophet. Because why? It's not so much of Prophet's message, of Muhammad the Messenger's message. It's much more related to their periuk nasi, okay, for the international, is like their well-being, their material well-being. Because this man is going to disrupt businesses from coming to Makkah. Because then, if people stop believing in this God that is the statue around the Kaaba, people will stop coming here. When people stop coming here, we will lose our economic superpower. See? It's kind of as simple as that. Of the rebellions of the people in Makkah towards Prophet at that time. Not so much of the, oneness of God issue at that time. Okay? So are you following me? Yeah? Now, despite being asked to change and stop and, tell his uncle they told his uncle, listen, okay, make your nephew stop. He's destroying our economy. He's making a mockery of our gods, Tell your nephew to stop. And his uncle went to Mahamat, the messenger, and told him to stop, and then he said, no, because he knows that's the truth. Therefore, he was boycotted by the community, right? When he was boycotted, he had to leave Mecca and live at the area around the Mecca area, right? That is the new phase of his life now, okay? Are you okay? Yes. Okay, now. I'm coming to the more exciting part, okay? These are all the lessons that you have to understand. The previous stories I was telling you, okay? So you appreciate Prophet in different ways. The other side of Prophet. Okay? Now, in the whole life of Muhammad as a prophet, it was of the span of 23 years, okay? And Prophet Muhammad spent 13 years healing the heart and only 10 years on politics and states and, faith and rulings and stuff like that. But for the first 13 years of his life, Prophet Muhammad spent on healing the heart of the people. Because, why? Remember I told you earlier that the people in Mecca at that time are already corrupted with materialism, right? They are materialistic, self-centered, arrogant, they are, they are, subhanallah, when the word is at the tongue of your mouth, it won't come out. Have you faced that before? You feel like, like strangling yourself. Okay, let's see, uncharitable. They were selfish, every bad character, they're killing one another and all that. So he has to shift this community that is so corrupted right now to a different kind of set of community. Alright? So he needs to change or move the nature of his community. Yeah? So he started telling people, okay, things like be kind to people, and he says things like Allah is not kind to him who is not kind to others. So his message is very simple. God is not kind to those who are not kind to others. Just think about it. I mean, how simple is that? God won't be kind to you if you are not kind to others. If you look at this one teaching, you can dissect this teaching, like in 1,000 ways. But one of the things that I love about this particular teaching of Prophet is that when he says God is not kind to those who are not kind to others, it's like if you want, the other way of saying it is, if you want God to be kind to you, what should you do? Exactly, right? Be kind to others. This is something different. It's so, if I'm not kind to others, what will happen? Probably God won't be kind to you. So when I saw this particular teaching, I was thinking to myself, okay, wait. Prophet tells me that I have to be kind to others so that God is kind to me, right? So when I am kind to another person, it literally means that I am actually doing myself a favor. Huh? Isn't it? Because if I'm not kind to others, I might not receive kindness from God. So if I'm not kind to sabotaging my own life? Think very deep. One sentence, one teaching of Prophet. I got goosebumps the day I saw this, you know. And I thought about it and I was like, oh my God. Actually, being kind to others is just for me, man. I'm not doing the other person any favor. It looks as if I'm kind, yeah? It looks as if, ooh, you are helping another person, but what you are actually doing is favor to yourself, because you know that the message that Prophet brings, Muhammad says to you, is that Allah will not be kind to those who are not kind to others. Get it? It will stop us from being unkind to anyone. The moment you want to do nasty things to people, as simple as driving and wants to curse, right? Okay, somebody, you know, and you Malaysians are very noted for beautiful manners, hospitality, mashallah, best in the world, one of the best. But give them the car and the car key. You'll see the nasty side of Malaysia, okay? A lot of people notice. So the moment you want to say something bad or curse or do nasty things to people, shout at people, shout at others, you know, swear, okay, cheat, lie. Think about this. Hurt an animal. Think about this. Hurt your parents. Not be kind to your parents. Make mockery of others, of your friends. You know? Think about this. It will stop you. So basically what Prophet Muhammad does is to give a guidance, right, to us on how to live our life, right? And you know, in the recent research, I love this research when I read it. Okay, when somebody is kind to another person, doing kind gestures, kind deeds to another person, there is a hormone in their body that is being transmitted immediately upon the act of kindness. It's called serotonin, right? So this serotonin hormone will give you an impact in a wonderful ways, because it will make you calm, it will give you confidence, it will make you more relaxed, all right? You will be less nervous, all right? This is automatically, okay, given out by your body upon you doing act of kindness, right? This is well researched, okay, I can give you the evidence. But you know what? The most amazing thing about the research that I read was that this particular hormone in your body is not limited to the giver or the doer of the kind deeds. If you are doing something kind, like helping your lecturers carry books, for example, right? Or wipe the board. Your friends, you have this serotonin in your body already because you're doing the good deeds, right? But then, your friends who are watching you also have the same hormones in their body. And the recipient, your lecturer, who was saying thank you to you, you know, for wiping off the board or carrying her things, also have the same serotonin, okay, circulating in their body. So upon one act of kindness, three parties are affected. The doer, the recipient, and the watcher. And this one hormone God has made, that if you have this hormone in your body right now, you know, you will be calm and happy and relaxed and confident. Can you see? This is the other side of Prophet Muhammad. He just tells us to be kind to others, but this is the effect of it. Yeah? Don't you think it's amazing? I think it's mind-blowing amazing. Alright? It's out of the world amazing how a simple advice of be kind to people can affect our life. And of course, okay, I think your watch behind there has no battery. Because I just look at it, how come it's it. Oh, okay, I think I have over-exceeded. Okay. All right, and Prophet talks about being lenient to others, okay, leniency. There was one time when his wife, Aisha, his wife was like jittery and upset, right? So he said to his wife, be calm, Aisha. He said, Allah loves that one who is kind and lenient at all times. See? You see, this is the simple teachings of Prophet, being lenient. And Prophet is so famous of being a patient person, right? And he always tells his people, be patient, be patient, be patient. Anger is like a charcoal at the back of your head. You know, it's always there. You trigger, it will. So Prophet says that you have to control it. Be patient. You know, the patience of the Prophet that the Muslims sometimes are so amazed of. One of the stories came from when he was his road to the mosque, right, has always been put by this old woman, taunts, right, and rubbish, you know, just to make Prophet's life miserable, right? So she knows that Prophet has to pass this way to go to the mosque, so she put a lot of things there so that, you know, Prophet had a difficult time. And then one day, Prophet walked through the same path, and then there was no thorns, no rubbish, no dirt, nothing. And he was like, oh, that's new. Something must happen to this lady. So he went to the lady and asked the lady, what happened to you? I don't see any thorns in my path to the mosque. And then the lady was actually ill. Thus she cannot wake up to put the thorn in the path of the Prophet to the mosque. Amazing, right? Oh my God, if somebody put thorn in my path of coming here every day, I swear I don't know what I'm going to do, right? But Prophet was like, go and check this old lady and ask her, why isn't there any thorn on my path? What happened to you? I was ill. That's how patient, lenient, kind he is. It's amazing. That is why Michael Hart keep on insisting that he is the best example from all perspective, all angle, all slice in life. Yeah? All right, and then Prophet says, Prophet is very charitable. You know, right? Prophet Muhammad, he doesn't have anything in his house except for the rug that he sleeps on. Very humble. He gives away everything that he has, right? And he says things like, give charity without delay, for it stands in the way of calamity. You know, among my favorite teachings of the Prophet are his advices on charity. He says that, you know, do not give charity, give charity without delay, because it stops calamity, it stops bad things from happening to you. You know? And because I know this particular verse, right? This particular saying of Prophet, advice of Prophet, because I'm waiting for my Viva result of my doctorate, right? So for me, if I don't get my doctorate, it's calamity. Okay? So every day, at least I will smile. Because according to the Prophet, the easiest charity is smiling. Smiling, right? And I remember one of my friend, not sure you know her, her name is Lauren Booth, right? She's from the UK, and sister-in-law of Blair, actually, one of Blair. And then she was saying to me, among the things she cannot understand about Muslims is that, because she's a revert, she's a Muslim now, but she said at that point of time, she was thinking, I learned Islam, and I know Prophet Muhammad says that smiling is a charity. But one of the things I cannot understand about Muslim is that when I'm in my, tube, in the US, in the UK they have this like LRT, underground and all that, I've never seen a Muslim, it was Muslim because they will wear hijab and maybe some beard, The Muslims in the subway, if you look at them, the way they sit and the way they look at things about everybody in the, like subway station was angry and upset after the whole day working. They were tired, right? Yeah, but still, see, this is an argument, but still, the Muslims know that the Prophet told them that charity, as it is, yes, smiling. Why can't the Muslims smile? Huh? I don't know how to answer that. Right? And this is true. The easiest charity. See, Muslims don't have to find money to do charity. Smile is a charity. When you smile, the same thing happens. It's happy hormones named endorphin and serotonin will flood your bodies. And the body of the person you smile to, and the body of the person who sees both of you smiling. But now, if you smile to people for no reason,
crazy.
Right? What's wrong? This person smiling at me. Right? This is how we have become so contaminated with, suspicions and, judging others. Whereas teaching simple, smile. Okay? And then I remember there was one time this brother of mine, he had meningitis, yeah, so he was in coma. And I know one of Prophet's advice is to help relieve a pain of someone or your close one or yourself, right? You dig well, okay? You dig well. See, it sounds very weird for us to hear that, but at that point of time, I was so desperate because the doctors already ruled out my brother. Then he's going to pass away. He was to die. I was so desperate. I remember this advice of Prophet. So I went to charity places that specifically has a project in Africa to dig wells. To dig wells and water. And I consistently, week by week, go to this charity place and give something to them to dig a well. And you know what? I don't know, but subhanAllah, because of my firm belief in that, I believe my brother is now awake and is working. When he was in coma for probably close to 30 days. I am so happy, and I always remember that. And one of my girlfriends, she's a businessman, she's a businesswoman, and then she was saying about how difficult business life is right now, competitors and stuff like that. And I said, do you know Prophet said this about charity, right? When you give away a charity, even if it's as simple as the size of a date, okay, God will reward you as if it is a baby horse that turns into a mountain.
I don't think so because
You know what baby horse is? Like a
15
pony.
now.
A small horse,
a bit later.
baby horse that turns into a mountain. How many thousand times is the difference of the size of a baby horse and a mountain? So I told her, I don't know about business strategy for now, it's very competitive, but do your charity. And she did, and her life improves. This is what Prophet Muhammad taught us, the way of life. He taught us to care about others, Yeah, I'll speed up, sorry. Okay, and now, I've always wondered to myself, actually I've got a lot of stories, but I think I'm running out of time. I've always wondered to myself, why did Prophet spend 13 years healing the heart of the people of Mecca and not, running a state or, not conquering the world? You see, Prophet Muhammad did not conquer the world, okay, during his time. Why did he spend 13 years healing the heart of the sick, Why? So I went for a quest, through a quest.
Yeah.
I'm still questing, but I think Allah will show me a little bit of the answers,
What I found you
which is
later.
actually pretty amazing. I found out very recently, that there is a question between which one is the brain? Is it the brain or is it the heart? Like sometimes your brain says A, your heart says B, and then you follow your heart. Does your heart think? Does your heart has a brain? Like mini brain or something? I have this curiosity. And then I found out that there are two schools of thoughts, okay, in terms of brain. One is Plato. Plato says that everything is brain-centric. Everything is here, okay? When you think, when you decide, everything is your head. But then came his student, Aristotle. He said, you know, I think there is such thing as heart-centric. You know, and of course he has a reason, research, and experiment to support, you know, his theory. Because these two schools, one is everything is here, one is everything is here. And then in the recent research, they found out our heart has about 40,000 neurons. And these neurons actually transmit to the head. As much as we think that our head tells our body and our heart to do the pumping, to do everything, in actual fact, science has proven, recent modern science has proven that our heart has a choice either to accept or reject the instruction from the head. And more amazing is that our heart can send a message back to the brain to instruct the brain to do something. Okay? Are you okay with this fact? Right? So it'll get more interesting. And then in 2002, all right, in the University of Arizona and University of Hawaii, they did this research on heart transplant. Okay, amazing story, amazing outcome. 10 heart recipients, 10, right? Before this, the transplant, they interviewed the recipient and the family members and the close friends, you know, on who is this recipient, right? How is he? What's his favorite food? What kind of music he like? You know, what is his sexual orientation? Does he like arts? You know all these things, but like the personality trait of this recipient. And then they did the heart transplant. The research showed 3 documentations of this very interesting outcome. The first one, this guy, he's a straight man, okay, the donor, right? The donor is a straight man, okay, meaning he's a male who's straight. And then he's a vegetarian, right? So he loves, you know, green things, leafy things. His heart was donated to a military guy, a gay military guy who loves McDonald's. All his friends know that he loves beef McDonald's, double pound burger, you know. And then, after the transplant, this gay military beef lover guy loves vegetable and became straight. One incident. Okay? Incident number 2. The donor, this donor was a young musician, right, and has passion for violin. Okay? Her heart is being transplanted into the donor, an old lady who hates classical music. Upon recovery, she opens her eyes. Upon recovery, she said, I want to listen to violin. Just like that. And she hates classical music. Not only violin, but all classical music. And she listened to classical music for hours and hours and hours, whereas before the transplant, she hates classical music. Incident number 3. This donor is a young gymnast, young girl, 14-year-old, right? Recipient of her heart is a 47-year-old guy. After the transplant, this guy, when he plays bowling, he will yell and scream like a girl. And his wife said to him, you look funny, stop it. He said, it's okay, I don't care. And his behavior was like a little girl. He screams and his wife was like, oh my God, what happened? And that is exact behavior of the donor of the heart.
He will take pictures later.
I was thinking when I was reading this research, I was like, oh, this is
Because I
interesting.
need to
It's
submit
interesting
2
if
lectures.
it's like that,
After
right?
about
But
for
what is
ECA.
around, It'd be like pretty scary, right? So you must really check the person's personality of, if you or your family member wants to receive any heart transplant, you kind of got to check a little bit, yeah. But there will be a shift in personality because there's a new heart. It's a new heart in place. New mini brain in place. Right. So after I discovered this particular new neuroscience research, right, I was like, oh, so that's why Prophet Muhammad goes straight to the heart and change the heart of the person first before he does anything else to the Muslim community during his time. You get it? You have to take care of your heart. What's in here? There's a brain in here. Clean heart, they call it, right? You have to have a clean heart in order to have a good life. So, I pondered some more and I remembered, like some of the techniques that Prophet Muhammad has given us. I love Prophet's saying when he said, if you want to bind hearts between people, give gifts. Because gifts binds heart. Right? Gifts binds heart. What do you do to the person you don't want to be in a good book with? Right? You be kind words, you give gifts. You don't have to, I shall not mention. You see, it's like, every time it's the 14th of February, I'll be so amazed. Even on my Facebook, I wrote that, it's so funny today. I walk around the city looking, meeting men with teddy bears under their arms. I actually saw 3 or 4 young, sweet boys carrying teddy bears. I'm sure I know for who, right? They're just so cute and but weird though. So if you hurt somebody, right? You want to win your mom's heart, probably you say the wrong things, you hurt them. Get them gifts. Because Prophet says it binds heart. Binds, It's not make it closer. Prophet said binds, like who binds? Probably stronger. And then if you want to spread love among people, Prophet says, greet them. Greet them. Say, of course, for the Muslim, we say, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Right? So greet them. And then, it's amazing how Prophet knows. Like sometimes if you are angry with somebody, right? And then that person, you're sitting there, and that person comes in, and you say, no, I'm not wrong. So she or he should say salam first, I won't say, right? And then, or you are bitter with somebody, or you are older, and then that person makes you angry, and then you say, I'm the older one, this is the younger one, they should say salam to me, they should greet me first, they should say hi to me first, right? Because Prophet knows all these problems that we have in our head, right? All these, ego we have in our head. So Prophet advises us in this saying. He says very simply, those who are nearest to God are those who first give the salutation of greeting. Simple, right? So it doesn't matter, you are older, you are younger, you are sitting down, you are standing, the person is coming to the room, you're already in the room. It doesn't matter. Because if you want to feel that you are closer to God, you must give the first greeting. You must say the first hello. Right? But the Muslim is Assalamu alaikum because hello doesn't count. Right? And then because he has to shift the behavior of his community, right, from being arrogant and materialistic and all that, to a better one. So one of the technique that he taught us is that like sometimes we have this tendency of saying things about others, right? So Prophet say, okay, if you want to say things about others, this is the way. If you wish to mention the faults of your friend, mention your faults first. want to talk about your friends. Prophet says, don't start with your friend first. Start with you first. So it's like, okay, I know I like to also talk about people. I mean, how would you wouldn't want to do that, right? So it will automatically make you do not want to talk about others because you have to highlight your fault first. It's like, duh. You know?
Duh.
Right? So these are all these simple teachings that actually will affect you in the community and, you know, make you a better community. And I remember posting this particular hadith on my Facebook status. Okay? I said that if you love someone, do not quarrel with him and do not annoy him. Right? And then do not ask others about him, for the one you ask might be his enemy and tell you things about him that are not true, thus break you both apart. My friends love it so much. So I was saying, who are you quarreling with? you know, because it's very simple. If you love somebody, don't quarrel. You know, like sometimes we want to respond, right? Because we think we are right. Probably we are right. Okay, but sometimes if you love somebody, you can take the higher ground and say, "Oh, I love you so much." No need to quarrel. Okay? This happened to one of my closest girlfriend, and she, you know, something happened between us, and then I said it was over, and then I said it's okay. I don't want to talk about it, you know, because I love you. I don't want to quarrel. And then she was like, because she finds satisfaction in, you know, telling her views, and I was like, no, it's okay, I love you, it's okay, whatever, I love you. So she was like, I hate you for not letting me say things, you know. Very simple teachings. Very simple. So in the end,
You want to see funny? Cut your eyeballs off and look at you.
if you look at the whole about 4,000 to 5,000 advices of Prophet on how to live your life, yeah, 2/3 of it would come from how do you deal with others. Believe me, I just quoted you like 3 or 5, which is not. I'm not doing justice to my beloved man, right? But I have so much time, and I just want to highlight to you. I hope after this you go back and go on a quest looking for what did Prophet say about this matter. If you face a problem, what did Prophet say about this? Just find out. It's very interesting to find that he actually provides a solution to almost everything. So in the end, you know, to sum up the other side of Prophet, being a human, being a person who loves to make peace with other people, to connect people, to make people live in harmony, right? He actually has a saying that says, Christians, Muslims, you know, the Jews, we all believe that at the end, we will all be judged. Yeah? There will be a day of judgment, right? So Prophet left us one of the saying that says, nothing is weightier on the scale of deeds than one's good manners. So when I saw this hadith, this saying of Prophet, I was saying to myself, oh, okay, let me read this again. Prophet says, nothing is heavier on the day of judgment than your deeds to others. So I was thinking, okay, meaning, if I pray, right, 5 times with all my, sunnah prayer, I wake up at night, I do good and stuff like that, that will not still make my way, my right side heavier on the day of judgment as compared to if I am kind to another person. Isn't it? If I don't pray, I will be in trouble, of course. God will ask me because that is obligatory. Yeah? But the Prophet is saying about making your scale heavier on the right side. You know? What you have to do is to do good to others. To be kind to others. To be generous. To be merciful. To be compassionate. To be helpful. speak kind words, not to judge. Don't become judgmental, Prophet says, right? Be helpful. Smile, do charity. Love your neighbors. Prophet loves his neighbors. Loves your family members. You know? Help the poor. Help the needy. Feed the orphans. Take care of your environment. You know, don't hurt. Not available, these people, you know, they just believe and just do what Prophet asked them to do out of mere obedience and confidence in knowing that Prophet is telling them to do something good, right? So I hope that, inshallah, with by the grace of God, that we all go back today, you know, hopefully you guys benefit from this short talk, and hopefully, inshallah, our knowledge gets better and better and be increased on a daily basis by God Almighty. And I hope, inshallah, each and every one of us go on our quest, right, to find the way of life that is good for our little mini heart, our brain and our heart here, that will bring us success in both worlds, in this world and here. Inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khair, which means thank you so much. May God bless the organizer. And I believe, okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the talk. And remember the first verse of God to mankind after Prophet Jesus, how many thousand years? His first instruction to his creations is to be in his name, right? So you are all in a good quest here. You're all students, so you're all reading. Read more and above of what your lecturers ask you to.
Inshallah.
And you'll find beautiful things in life.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.